Hi, it's Scott, ROCKFILE, back with another podcast review. Going to talk about it's a 2006, but finally came out in 2010 documentary about Harry Nilsson called Who is Harry Nilsson and Why is Everybody Talking About Him? I saw this originally on Netflix. I think I had it on DVD, but they finally released it on Blu-Ray. But you don't have to run right out and get the Blu-ray. It's one of the best documentaries I have ever seen. I just got done reviewing the Triumph documentary. It was one of the most okay documentaries I've ever watched. This is one of the best documentaries I've ever watched. If you don't know who Harry Nilsson is, you will by the end of it. Harry Nilsson was a singer, the Beatles' favorite singer, and probably my favorite singer of all time. He had an incredible range, a quirky personality, and a self-destructive nature to kill himself with alcohol and drugs. He famously locked himself into a studio with John Lennon back in the day, and they sang and drank and did drugs until they were bleeding from their throats so much. He almost ruined his voice over that. And the documentary doesn't pull anything back. They talk to both of his wives and all of his friends. The people in this documentary: Mickey Dolenz of the Monkees, Terry Gilliam and Eric Idle of Monty Python, Ringo Starr, Robin Williams, Yoko Ono, Randy Newman, John Lennon, Brian Wilson. There's some really famous people. All knew him very well. He was the best man in Ringo's wedding. Ringo was the best man in his wedding. They called him the fifth Beatle. He was their favorite singer. He got in with the Beatles, became friends with John and the rest of them. Wrote some great songs, some great albums. The Point is one of my favorites of all time. I still listen to in adulthood, even though it's a kid's album. I just like his quirkiness. If you like Randy Newman and stuff like that, he really liked Randy Newman. He was quirky and funny in that vein. He's got a song on the Son of Schmielsen album, I'd rather be dead than wet my bed, and he got an old age home to sing it with him. That kind of humor. Or You're Breaking My Heart, You're Tearing It Apart, so F you. That was a song also on Son of Schmielsen. My parents took that album away from me until I was old enough to listen to it. But anyway, as documentaries go, this is warts and all. It goes in. It's almost 2 hours long. But I watched it with a friend of mine who didn't know anything about Harry Nilsson, and at the end of it, we both went, what a great documentary. Now, why I said don't rush out to get the Blu-ray is this was filmed in standard definition, finished in standard definition. There's a big warning on the Blu-ray that says they have done the best they can do with these elements, but it's standard definition upconverted to 1080p. And a lot of it looks that way. It doesn't look terrible for what it is, but it was obviously a documentary made before the high definition age. And it's a lot of footage from the 70s, so it doesn't really matter so much. I can't say that I was blown away by the Blu-ray, but there are some new extras on there that wasn't on the DVD. Also, the sound quality is really good. They've upgraded that to a lossless soundtrack. I thought it was definitely worth picking up and watching it again. Like I said, it's on streaming services, and you may not be a big fan of Harry Nilsson, but this is truly one of the best music documentaries I've watched in a long time, and revisiting it just reminded me of that fact. Like I said, I watched it, I think, on Netflix originally. I watched it on DVD originally, and now it's available on Blu-ray. It was originally done back in 2006. It got a theatrical release shortly in 2010, and that was about it. The movie has been on streaming services, various streaming services, for the last decade and a half. Again, one of my favorite artists got a really warts and all documentary. It's amazing if you want to know more. If you're not a fan of his music, I think you would still appreciate the documentary because you're hearing from some of the most famous musicians of all time talking about how much they loved him, how much they liked him, and how crazy he was. I still listen to his music. He's still one of my favorite singers of all time, and this documentary just cements that and the tragedy that his life turned out to be. Love Harry Nilsson. You'll dig the documentary. Who is Harry Nilsson and why is everybody talking? He won, or at least he won the Academy Award for Best Song for Everybody's Talking from Midnight Cowboy. He's done soundtrack songs, Put the Lime in the Coconut, you know that one, Without You, you name it. So anyway, one of my favorite artists got a great documentary. It's available on Blu-ray now, but not something you have to run right out and get on Blu-ray because, again, it's standard definition stuff, up converted to 1080p, but it does look good, and you get a couple more extras on there. There's some behind the scenes stuff you didn't get. There is more Harry Nilsson stuff. I understand why they're not going to release it. Like, are they going to release that vampire movie he did with Ringo Starr? Probably not. It was pretty terrible from what I understand. I saw bits of it when I was a kid. But there is a lot more to the story, but in this 2-hour documentary, you get most of it. Who is Harry Nilsson and why is everybody talking about him? Definitely worth your time. Definitely worth picking up on DVD or Blu-ray. Scott and ROCKFILE, more podcasts are on the way. Please like, share, and subscribe, and have a spectacular day.